Hey, what's going on, guys? Been wanting to do this video for a while. I finally got some time. We're gonna do a little challenge. It's not gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna be timing, how quick we could put a lag bolt in a piece of wood. 4.6 seconds compared to 5.3, stuff like that. I'm gonna do this video more of what each tool can do. When at least when I want to buy an impact driver, I want to see what applications the tool can do. As long as it can take lug nuts off a car, as long as I can drill a hole with a spade bit on it, and do a good job. Um, you know how easy and how nice and how straight and how clean does it put a lag bolt in a piece of wood, stuff like that. I'm not looking at maybe the Ridgid does it 0.9 seconds quicker than this tool, or the Milwaukee does it 1.5 seconds faster than this tool. I mean, if you want something like that, maybe I could do something like that in the future, but I'm trying to give you the best um, the best buy for your money. More of this is kind of, hey, the Milwaukee, is a lot more money than the Ridgid, but if you're getting a lot more performance out of the Milwaukee, you might want to spend the extra money. So it's more of like, hey, but I understand too that, if you have a Milwaukee batteries, you're in that platform, 80% you're going to stick with Milwaukee. Or if you have DeWalt, you have their battery platform, their charger. I mean, if the Ridgid does something 1.7 seconds quicker than your DeWalt, I doubt you're gonna throw all your batteries away and start a new platform. So that's kind of, you know, the point I'm trying to make with this. I just did an 8-minute video going over the specs of each one of these, so I want to keep this around 15 minutes. So maybe I'll do something like that at the end. But we're gonna start with just a quick roundup of each tool we're gonna do. This is a 3-speed Ridgid we're gonna do. This is model R86035. This is the Gen5X impact driver. Great buy, 3-speed. You got the three LED lights in the front, compared to the Milwaukee, which you just have one. And this is just 1 speed. So be aware of that. But getting back to this has a max RPM of 3,200 and 2,250 inch-pounds of torque. So between these two tools, just letting you know, before anybody goes crazy, it has 750 more inch-pounds of torque than the Milwaukee. This Ridgid is the strongest impact on the market, so to say, from Ridgid. That's their claim, and with the numbers, it definitely backs that up. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on. If it's totally crushing the Milwaukee, and you're starting a new tool platform, you might say, hey, I could take lug nuts off a car with this. I can drill a nice hole with a spade bit. I can get a nice lag bolt and a piece of wood if I'm, going to be doing that in the future. So, but, getting back to the tools here, we're going to be using the Milwaukee. This is model. I'll read it in case you can't see it. Oh, there it is. 2656 2.0. They're both 1/4-inch impact drivers. This is the M18. This is their entry level impact from both of these. Actually, they make a GEN5X for the Ridgid. Has a little bit less inch-pounds of torque. So I can't say this is their entry level impact, because they still have the GEN5X out and that they're selling. But they're both great impacts. I'm gonna weigh them here just to let everybody know, because off the spec sheet it says that the Ridgid's 2.8 pounds and that the Milwaukee is 3.1 pounds, and that is impossible because the Milwaukee is definitely a lighter tool than the Ridgid. So I don't know what's going on with that, but maybe it's with the battery. I don't know. So I have my own scale here, and we will weigh each tool. I'm going to pause it, and we'll start with that first part of the challenge. Okay, excuse me. So we have the Milwaukee bare tool on the scale. It's coming in at 2 pounds, 4.3 ounces. Excuse me. Of course, I start coughing now. But that's the Milwaukee bare tool. This is, right from, not from Ridgid specs, not from Milwaukee specs. This is, on the scale here. And the Ridgid is coming in at 2 pounds, 8.7 ounces. So a little bit lighter than Milwaukee. Actually, I thought it was going to be a little bit more lighter than it actually is showing. And the Ridgid on their spec line does say it's 2.8 pounds. 2.80 it says on Home Depot's site. So that's pretty accurate. This could be off too a little bit. Who knows? But 2.87 for the Ridgid. Compared real quick, I'll just go back to the Milwaukee. 2.43. Okay, so it's a little bit lighter, nothing crazy. For the extra 750 inch-pounds of torque and a little bit lighter price, right off the bat, and you got 3 speeds on the Ridgid. So it's, right off the bat, that just lets you know, hey, whatever you want to do, but this is just, the facts from so far. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, the first part of the challenge is going to be removing lug nuts off a car. This one's going to be a little bit harder because I wanted to make sure everything was equal. So I used my Ryobi impact wrench, which has around 200 foot-pounds of torque, 200 to 210 foot-pounds of torque. Usual lug nuts are set at 95 to 100, well, 85 to 100 foot-pounds of torque, depending on what, company, Honda, Toyota, Ford, whatever, sets them at different torque settings. But I didn't want to make sure everything was fair, so I used the Ryobi first to tighten everything up. So it's going to be a little bit harder for these impact drivers to get the bolt off. So I wanted to make it kind of like the most extreme condition, because sometimes you might get rusted bolts and stuff like that. So they're all tightened at the same equal torque setting, 200 inch-pounds. Now there's no way these wheels are gonna be at 200. I just kind of zipped them real quick. They really didn't even turn, but I just wanted to make sure everything was tight at the same same torque settings, each lug nut. So we'll start with the Ridgid, and we'll see what it can do. Like I said, a lot of people like to save money. They like to do their own brakes. They like to rotate their own tires, and to have an impact driver that can handle that, pretty important. So let's see what the Ridgid can do. So it finally got it off. Now you got to remember, this is set at a lot higher torque setting than usual. So we're going to do one with this tire, and then we're going to do one with the ram that is just factory installed. But I wanted to make sure these were all equal. So took it off pretty easily, with an impact wrench. This has substantially more torque than the Ridgid, so it took it off, did pretty well. Now we'll see what the Milwaukee can do. Okay, now it's the Milwaukee's turn. And by the way, I used DeWalt. This is a 13/16 socket, DeWalt Impact Ready. High impact sockets. I love these DeWalt ones. Excellent set, these DeWalt sockets. They come in a set of 8, ranging in various sizes, but great high impact sockets if anyone's interested. Alright, so as you can see, 750 less inch-pounds of torque than the Ridgid, and it took these lug nuts off like they were nothing. So, you know, let's see how it does with the Dodge Ram. I haven't touched that one at all, so we'll see what happens. Okay, let's start with the Milwaukee this time. I had to use, obviously, a bigger socket. This is a 7/8 socket compared to a 13/16 for the Ultima. So it's going to lose a little bit of torque. And just to let you know, too, when you have this long extension, that also takes away from some of the torque. But again, should have enough torque to take these lug nuts off. Well, at least the Ridgid should. Let's see about the Milwaukee. And these haven't been touched. These were rotated maybe, I don't know, 3,000 miles ago. So however the factory, however the shop did it, that's the way it is. Alright, so I took that one off pretty easily. Real easy. I'm really impressed with this Milwaukee. That is real nice. Alright, now let's take a look, see what the Ridgid can do. Again, it's on speed 3. Let's check the power to battery. Full power battery, just so there's no questions. It's having trouble. It's having trouble. I'm really surprised. Okay, this is interesting. The Ridgid cannot get this lug nut off. Now, let's take a look at the Milwaukee and see if the Milwaukee can get it off. If it does, I'm going to be hugely shocked. Completely shocked, and really starting to wonder about Ridgid and their 2,250 inch-pounds of torque that they're claiming. Alright, so the Milwaukee got it off. This is very interesting. I'm very shocked at these results so far. Again, the Ridgid with 2,250 inch-pounds of torque. It's on, setting 3, full battery. Could not get this lug nut off. The Milwaukee with 1,500 inch-pounds, 750 less than the Ridgid, got this lug nut off. I'm going to try another one with the Ridgid real quick, just to make sure there's no, I don't want anyone saying, oh, you loosened the Ridgid one, then you did the Milwaukee. So let's put these on real quick. Okay, so we'll do another one now that we haven't done. Maybe that one was just on real tight. Again, speed 3. Not budging. Not budging at all. Now, let's see if the Milwaukee can get that one off. Milwaukee got it off. I'm really shocked. 2,250 inch-pounds of torque. Cannot get a lug nut off a Ram 1500, but a 1,500 inch-pound Milwaukee can. So we're gonna try doing another one. I don't want to say we loosened it with the Ridgid first. Again, I can care less who wins these. This is just for fun, these challenges, but I'm pretty shocked. Alright, so we did these three so far. These two we haven't touched. I'll try doing it straight up with the Milwaukee. Got it off. Alright, so I don't know. I'm very shocked. Obviously we're not getting these amounts of torque correct with some of these tools here. Let me just tighten this up. And also, again, make sure you set, I'm taking these lug nuts off, the truck and the Altima here. Make sure you do it with a torque wrench and do it to your, your company or the model of the car specs. If they got to be set at 91 foot-pounds, do it that way. Don't trust these cordless impacts, but I'm going to do that later. Make sure everything's all set. But completely shocked. I might even actually put this video up right now just to let people know that this Ridgid, you're not getting that performance that you really should. With that much amount of torque that it's claiming. So, all right. I'm gonna post this one, and then my next video we'll do a different one because I'm already at 12 minutes on this. Just completely shocked by the results of this. But all right, we'll catch you on the next one.